In today's video, I'm going to go over what I believe are the 3 most common concealed carry mistakes and what you can do to avoid them. Are you ready? Let's get it. Hey everyone, my name is Michael and welcome to Minutemen. So the other day, I asked a couple of good friends what they felt the most common concealed carry mistakes were. We each shared several examples, and unsurprisingly, we all mentioned roughly the same things. Some of these things I've done personally, and I've seen them all being done by those who are new to concealed carry, as well as people who have been doing this for a long time. I want to help you avoid these common mistakes, so let's just jump right in and start with number 1, not carrying your firearm. I know you're probably asking yourself, hey, isn't this about carrying a gun? Yes, it is, but you'd be surprised at how easy it is to become complacent and not carry a firearm with you. I remember back when I first started to conceal carry, I would oftentimes make up an excuse as to why I wouldn't bring my gun with me. I found that most of the time, it comes down to 2 things. Either you have the wrong size gun and it's uncomfortable to carry, or it's an inconvenience in some way. I think it's important for those of you that are new to make sure you know what firearm you should get and the why behind that choice. If you want to appendix carry, you're going to be much more comfortable with a subcompact or Micro 9. I first started with a Springfield Hellcat, and it was easy to carry and conceal. It was really comfortable to carry, minus the sandpaper grip texture that they use. Having a smaller gun for inside the waistband carry will make it way more comfortable. Now, if you plan to carry outside the waistband, then you might get away with a larger firearm. I like to carry my Glock 19 outside the waistband when I know I'll be sitting for prolonged periods of time. This helps alleviate being uncomfortable. Ultimately, it comes down to what your intention is with the firearm. Do your research before picking any gun, and it'll save you a headache in the long run. You also shouldn't let a little bit of inconvenience sway you from carrying. I would oftentimes leave my gun at home when I would go to certain places when I knew I couldn't carry a gun in there. Instead, I now carry it and leave it in my vehicle when I need to. If you plan ahead, anything that was a small inconvenience can be mitigated, and therefore you will be less likely to leave your firearm at home. Okay, so number 2 is one that I feel can lead to some pretty bad things, and that is not having a holster or not having the correct holster for your firearm. Before I ever carried a gun with me, I went and did some research on holsters. There are many different manufacturers, and they all make some pretty good holsters. There are also a ton of different holster types and different materials used to make them. In reality, holsters can be an entirely different video. For this video, you should know that it is never okay to not have a holster for your gun. Not having a holster is asking for a negligent discharge. My go-to is a Kydex holster made specifically for my gun. You can also use leather holsters, and they work pretty well, although I will warn you that over time they can become soft and start to bend and deform. There are some holsters that allow you to carry them in your pocket even, or to throw them in a purse or fanny pack. These are the only non-rigid holsters that I would ever use, and it's for that specific purpose. Ultimately, you just want to make sure that nothing can get to the trigger of your firearm. A holster needs to cover the trigger fully. Another thing to note is that you need to make sure that you practice with your holster and always watch your firearm enter your holster. Make sure there are no loose articles of clothing that are down in your holster that could snag on your trigger and cause a negligent discharge. Training is your best friend. Get used to drawing from your holster and reholstering while always practicing firearm safety. If you're finding this video helpful or informative, it would mean a lot to me if you would demolish that red subscribe button. Help me get this channel out to more people, and let's build an awesome community of Minutemen. Lastly, number 3 is a big one for me. Even though when I first started, I did this exact same thing. I believe it is a huge mistake to not keep a round in the chamber. I know this is a heavily debated topic. Let me know in the comments below what your opinion is. I'd love to hear what you have to say. In 1982, Sergeant Dennis Toller of the Salt Lake City Police Department wondered how quickly an attacker with a knife or other melee weapon could cover 21 feet. So he timed volunteers as they raced to stab a target. He determined that it could be done on average of 1.5 seconds. Interestingly enough, this is also the rough time that it takes trained officers to unholster their weapons and fire 2 shots. That's from 21 feet away. We know that most self-defense shootings take place within 10 feet. The point is, in a self-defense situation, I want every advantage in my pocket. Having to chamber around during an adrenaline dump and using gross motor movement is difficult enough for trained personnel, let alone someone who has never trained or been in that type of environment. That's why I think it's vital to always keep your firearm in ready condition. take the time to practice and become comfortable with a loaded gun pointing in not so pleasant places. You'll get over it a lot faster than you think. I want to wrap this video up by saying that concealed carry is a lifestyle. You have to be committed to embracing the quote-unquote lifestyle. It's not always glamorous, it's a choice that you make every day. Sure, there are days when it's not convenient, where it will be uncomfortable, but there is nothing more liberating than knowing that you have the ability and the tools to overcome what could be a very bad situation. Thank you for watching, and until next time, peace.